Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Freilich and Chanukah. We are learning Mishnah Shabbos, Parakal Gimel, chapter 23, Mishnah Gimel, Mishnah 3. I'd like to dedicate this morning's learning memory of my mother, Mr. Shalom, Mr. Rabinowitz, Shalom, Basa Rabbi Yaakov Eliezer. All right. Let me read to you a quick introduction. The prophet Yeshaya tells us to honor Shabbos by refraining from pursuing your affairs, meaning your weekday affairs, and speaking words. The clause from pursuing your affairs requires a person to avoid engaging in his weekday affairs, even if no malach is involved. For this reason, Sage prohibited one to participate in commercial transactions, to go to his field to see what work it requires after Shabbos, to read documents that pertain to business. You're not necessarily doing any actual malacha at this present moment, but you're either being involved in business, reading about business, or actually going to see what you need to do after Shabbos. That's all called being involved in your weekday affairs. That's from pursuing your needs, your affairs. The clause v'daber davar, speaking words, forbids even the discussion of prohibited manners. Thus, one may not speak about business affairs, make financial calculations, or discuss plans to perform after Shabbos an activity that is prohibited on Shabbos itself. So, daber davar says you cannot say on Shabbos what you're going to be doing, something forbidden after Shabbos. Or it means that something you can't do on Shabbos itself, like business, transactions, you can't talk about it on Shabbos. All right. So now the Mishnah now gets into this, into a number of cases of this halacha. Lo yiskar adam payalim b'Shabbos. A person cannot hire workers on Shabbos. Basically, you're trying to hire them to work for you after Shabbos. That's called taking care of your business affairs and your weekday affairs. You may not do that. Nor can you tell your friend to hire workers for you. You cannot go over to the workers and hire them for after Shabbos. You cannot tell someone else to hire workers for you after Shabbos. So the Baratanura points out that this second part about not telling somebody else to do it, there's nothing novel about that. If you can't do it yourself, you can't tell someone else to do it. So why is the Mishnah even mentioning it? So the Baratanura explains the Mishnah is mentioning it because it's really trying to allude to us another halacha, and that is, don't tell your friend he should work for you after Shabbos. Don't tell your friend to go hire someone for you after Shabbos. But you can tell your friend the following hint. I'll see you after Shabbos. And he knows exactly what you mean. Being that you have not explicitly said you're doing it to hire him, it's okay. Because you're not allowed to speak or be involved in your weekday affairs, but hearer to think about them, you could. And therefore, if you didn't tell him straight out about working, you just alluded to him and he gets the point, that would be permissible. That's the equivalent of thinking about your weekday affairs.
Is this a Jew or a goy?
Jew. Now, that's the point. That's the main point here. The main point here is you're telling another Jew to do this. You're talking to another Jew. But the truth is that, again, it would be the same thing if it's a guy, because you can't hire a guy to work for you on Shabbos after Shabbos either. Now we go to another step into this set of halachas about being involved in your weekday activities. You cannot wait till dark by the Shabbos boundary. Liskar payalim, to hire workers, ulavi peres, and to bring fruits. We have a halacha called Tchum Shabbos, which we treat as a halacha midrabanan, rabbinic law. And that is that to go more than 2,000 cubits outside of your residence, whether it be what's considered the city you live in, whether it be the home you're living in case you're not in a city, you're just kind of somewhere out there in the woods, you cannot go more than 2,000 cubits. That's the Tchum Shabbos, the Shabbos boundary. So if a person wants to be able to do something outside of the Tchum Shabbos right after Shabbos, then what would he do? So while Shabbos, he would go over, he would walk up to the final place where to go and wait and look outside and wait for it to get dark, and then boom, then go do what he has to do. So the Mishnah says you cannot wait until dark by the boundary to go hire workers or to bring Paris. Meaning, can you hire workers on Shabbos? No. If you can't hire workers on Shabbos, you cannot wait by the Tchum to go ahead and hire them after Shabbos. If you can't do it on Shabbos, you can't do it after Shabbos. You cannot bring fruits from outside the Tchum into the Tchum on Shabbos, so you can't wait by the Tchum to do it after Shabbos. But you could wait until dark to go and guard your fruit, maybe peres biyadai, and then in that case bring fruits back. If I want to go over to my field on Shabbos and just watch it, I'll just stand there to guard it. I can do that. Because of the fact that, I believe that the answer is because maybe you just took a walk there. It's not recognizable that you're standing there to guard. And therefore, it's not a problem doing it on Shabbos. If it's not a problem doing it on Shabbos, then there's no problem. If my only problem is that I can't do it because it's a tchum, because it's outside of the boundary of Shabbos, then I could wait by the Shabbos boundary and right after Shabbos go and do it. And once I primarily went to do something permissible, I can bring back fruits also. Meaning bringing back fruits I couldn't do on Shabbos. That I couldn't do. But being that that's not my primary reason why I'm waiting by the boundary. I'm waiting for it to get dark to go outside of the boundary. My primary reason is to guard my fruit. The fact that I also plan on bringing back some fruit is not going to be a problem because that's not my primary reason why I'm waiting there. So although you were planning on bringing back some fruit once you're there already, but that's not the primary reason why you went, and therefore you're able to wait by the boundary until after Shabbos to go outside of the Shabbos boundary, even though you're going to land up bringing back some fruits because once you went there to guard your fruit. Now, basically, the rule that comes out here right now is that what I can do on Shabbos, I can wait by the Shabbos boundary. I can wait, right by the end of how far I can go on Shabbos until it comes dark to go after Shabbos and do it. But if I can't do it on Shabbos, then I can't go waiting at the, call it the Shabbos boundary to go right afterwards. I can't do that. So the question is though, but every time you wait by the boundary, you're waiting to do something you can't do on Shabbos. And that is to go outside of the boundary. Every time you're doing that. Every time you're waiting by the boundary, you're waiting to do something you can't do after Shabbos. So what's the diff? So what's the point? Whether I can hire, whether we're talking about something you want to do, you could do on Shabbos, you can't do on Shabbos. You're always involved here, waiting by the boundary to do something that you can't do on Shabbos, which is to go outside of the boundary. So what's the point of the Mishnah? So the answer is that the point of the Mishnah is that you can never hire workers on Shabbos, and you can never bring fruits from outside of the Tchum on Shabbos. But to be able to walk more than the Tchum, you actually could. And that is when basically, let's say there's a wall the whole way. There's a wall going the whole way. It's along the Great Wall of China. I don't know. You have this big wall going the long way. Or to make it simpler, the halacha is that if let's say outside of the Tchum Shabbos, there are these huts for where people sit there and guard. I don't know exactly, but there are these huts along the way. Okay, you have these huts along the way. You can keep going. The point is, I could go 2,000 cubits more. There's a way of doing it. There's a way of going more than 2,000 cubits on Shabbos. Once we're talking about, so if there is a way of doing this, and in this case, I just can't because I don't have the means, because I don't have those things that allow me to do it, that's not what we say you can't wait by the boundary for. I can't wait by the boundary to something that I really can never do on Shabbos. But to go ahead and wait to do something that there are situations where I can do this on Shabbos. It happens to be now I don't have the conditions for it. That is not what we're talking about to say it's forbidden to wait by the boundary for. Then the Mishnah continues. Klav Amar Abashol. The sage Abashol said the following rule, and he's arguing on the Tanakama, the first opinion. Kol shani zaka ba mirasai. Anything that I'm able to talk about, Rasha ani lahach shechalav, I can wait for dark to do it. I can wait for dark by the Tchum to do it. If there's something that I'm allowed to talk about on Shabbos, maybe something I can't do on Shabbos, but I'm allowed to talk about it on Shabbos, then I can wait by the border of Shabbos to get dark to go do it. So for instance, I can talk about on Shabbos to do a mitzvah that can't be done on Shabbos. Let's say somebody passed away. Somebody has passed away. And now we need, after Shabbos, to go outside of the Tchum to bring to make it, to bring a coffin, to bring shrouds, tachrichem. You can't do that on Shabbos. Can't do it on Shabbos. But I can talk about it on Shabbos. I can tell people on Shabbos, after Shabbos, you go do this. Because it's a mitzvah. Therefore, says Abba Shaul, whatever I can talk about on Shabbos, I can wait till it gets dark to do on Shabbos. Tanakama says, if I can't do it on Shabbos, I can't wait until it gets dark to go outside of the tchum. I can't wait by the boundary till it gets dark to go out of the boundary, even if it's a mitzvah. You can't do it on Shabbos. You cannot wait by the Shabbos boundary until dark to do it. Abba Shaul says, no. If it's something I can talk about, meaning it's a mitzvah, so although I can't do it on Shabbos, I can wait until dark to go by. I can wait by the limit of the Shabbos boundary until it gets dark, because I can talk about doing a mitzvah. I can wait to do that. I can wait until dark by the tchum to do the mitzvah. And that's the halacha. That's like Abba Shaul. If it's something that it's a mitzvah, I can talk about that. That's called cheftzei shamayim. The Torah said, don't do your activities, but the activities of shamayim, of heaven, meaning in order to do it for a mitzvah. Once we're talking about doing for a mitzvah, then already, since I can talk about doing it on Shabbos, meaning on Shabbos I can say, after Shabbos, we have to go do this. I can wait by the border till it gets dark to do it after Shabbos. Have a wonderful day, and again, a Feilach and Chanukah.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Can't talk about my money.